Welcome to the Big Play Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside Chris McNeil, Nick Padone. Big shout out to our producer, Ryan Smith. As always, pretty busy weekend here, guys, as far as sports go. Your Guardians have won 9 of the last 10. They just swept the White Sox. We're like really scrapping and clawing for that wild card and even the division. Browns, more of a disappointment, but we'll get into all the details on that. Ohio State beats OU. How was everybody's weekend?
Good weekend. I went up to Topgolf with the kids, so enjoyed some of the nice weather. Tried to ignore the Browns on Sunday, Nick. That was a rough one. When are we going to get that first win? 0-2 right now. We got the Packers. We got the Lions. Are we looking ahead to maybe the Miami Dolphins? I don't know, Nick.
That's going to be the question throughout Cleveland this week, potentially into next week, potentially the week after that, as we're back to the days of looking at the schedule and trying to identify where is that coveted first win going to come. We'll jump into all of our Cleveland sports stuff and headlines, I know, but a stressful weekend of football for sure.
Do you think it's harder to deal with the fact that the first half always looks like we're in it?
Yeah.
You know, and then the second half, it feels like the wheels fall off.
Then the wheels fall off. I mean, first half, boy, that defense looked outstanding. Outstanding, and you thought if the offense can do anything, we'd really have something going. Of course, special teams, Bubba Ventrone, I don't know what's going on there, Nick. That thing is just a complete mess. But you thought you had a chance going into halftime there.
Right.
Then second half, all of a sudden Denzel Ward's hurt. Then you get Cameron Mitchell, noted restaurateur, who should probably just stick to that, Nick, because he gave up a few touchdowns, didn't look very good. The defense collapsed. The team collapsed. It was another ugly Sunday.
I mean, it had everything. You know, the starting quarterback looked like a statue. The offensive line looks shaky at best. The secondary completely collapsed after the defense kept the Browns into the game. There was a block punt along the way. Outside of that, how'd you like the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
The rookies looked good. I don't know. We're grasping for what was positive, but
you got 5 rookies right now that are all making significant contributions on both sides of the ball. So there's your positive, right? And that's not even including the 2 potential quarterbacks that we're definitely going to see. We saw a little bit of Dylan Gabriel yesterday. Haven't seen Shedeur yet. We will see him at some point. We're going to see Dylan Gabriel at some point. It may be as soon as this weekend. I don't think it's going to be that soon. I think they're going to stick with Flacco right now. But we do have a lot of young guys making contributions right now. That's the only thing as a Browns fan that I'm sitting here saying, okay, if there's anything that I could pull off as a positive from this team right now, it is the youth movement.
All right, well, let's get into it in our Cleveland headlines brought to you by Fairway Ford.
Fairway Ford offers complete customization for any vehicle on the lot with their Fairway Black Label line. The series features custom upgrades like premium wheel and tire packages, a wide variety of level or lift kits, performance enhancements, and fully customized interior options. And every Fairway Black Label truck comes with a Rhino spray-in bed liner. Whether you're looking for an aggressive off-road stance, a bold street presence, or a one-of-a-kind build, Fairway Black Label delivers. As a bonus, many of these upgrades can be financed for as little as 0% APR, depending upon the vehicle line. You dream it, they can build it. Visit fairwayfordohio.com to explore their current Black Label inventory or give them a call to start designing yours today.
All right, gang, final score, Ravens 41, Browns 17. Did anyone bet on this game, by the way?
I did. I had a bonus bet through FanDuel for $300. I plopped all $300 on the Browns defense thinking they were going to cover in this game, Nick. At halftime, I was feeling darn good. Guess
McNeil.
what? I lost all $300.
No.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That's what I get for trying to bet on my Browns. I should have bet against the Browns, bought myself the victory, at least a closer game in this point, but I ended up losing big time.
Yeah, as we were pointing out, the offense was not good. Flacco threw it 45 times. He didn't get 200 yards. He had 2 more turnovers. And the run game, again, small sample size. We were kind of talking about this earlier, but with Quinshon Judkins, what did you think of him?
It's amazing. We were talking about it before the game. Only the Browns. This guy's practiced once, and it seems like he was the focus of the game plan offensively for us.
Right.
Who else? What other organization does that happen, Nick? It doesn't, but he did look good.
He looked good, and the run at the end, like you're now watching these games through a lens where you're actively seeking anything to be optimistic about. So the run at the end certainly gave fans hope, and the fact that you saw a guy that could at least maneuver between the tackles a little bit better than what Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford gave you in week 1. Quinshawn probably was the bright spot. Harold Fannin Jr., another bright spot to come out of this game as well. But outside of that, like, this team continues to find ways that just give you head-scratching losses. Like, they outgained the Baltimore Ravens pretty much every statistical category and got boat raced. They held Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense to their lowest yardage gained in 5 years with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, and you got boat raced in that game. So at some point, they got to find a way to at least be competitive in these games where everything is seemingly going right, but you find ways to lose in such comical fashion. They got to get that corrected. I don't really know how. I don't have the answers to that, but yeah, just another head scratcher.
Why do you think there's such a contrast, offense and defense, right now?
I think because the offense has a $230 million albatross that they invested 3 first-round picks into. They still owe them $80 million on their cap sheet next year, and they got quite literally zero production from that. But it's when you made that trade for Deshaun Watson, you did it because you thought he could elevate the deficiencies that were going to be lost from not having 3 first-round picks. But now you see, like, you could have used a first-round pick on an offensive lineman. Like, the tackle position is laughable. You could have used a first-round pick on a receiver. How would Jerry Jeudy look as the number 2 receiver with a guy like Malik Neighbors as your number 1? You know, you could build an actual offense if you had 3 first-round picks, if you had $230 million worth of cap space to play around with. So the fact that that dead weight is still around and is going to be around next year is, I think, really at the end of the day, like 1,000-foot view, what's kind of ailing this team from being able to move forward offensively.
Additionally, you cannot run the ball. You've had problems there. And so you're resigned to throwing the ball a lot. And right now we got receivers you can't rely upon. I mean, Jerry Jeudy drops again. We saw it in the first game. You know, Harold Fannin, he's a young guy, right? I like what I've seen out of him. He's going to have his drops. So these young guys aren't given the opportunity to develop because we're asking them to make plays right now. And I just don't see an end to where we're at offensively, because going into the offseason, what we were told was Kevin Stefanski was going to implement his offense with this personnel. What I've seen so far, Nick, is not very inspiring.
No, it's getting scary. And you hit on, like, the fact that they've been unable to develop anything is a red flag. Like Cedric Tillman is probably the closest thing that they have, and he caught the one touchdown that the Browns scored that should have been an interception. And even that touchdown catch, he was on his rear end, which he is somehow 50% of his snaps. He finds a way to fall down all of the time. He's never open. He's constantly on the ground.
By the way,
what's up with that? Like, Tillman, keep your feet.
The reaction of Joe Flacco's family is like, what was that? Was just amazing and right on point.
Like
his wife, the kids are like, okay, I guess we just scored. All right, go Browns, I guess. That was fantastic.
Jerry Judy's making me look bad in the group chat. I've been such a Jerry Jeudy stand from the beginning. I hope that this is just a little uncharacteristic. Everybody's got to warm up, or they're just not on the same page offensively, as we've pointed out. But I'm still with Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. There's a good receiver in there. He's not a wide receiver 1. He's not Jamar Chase. He's not Malik Neighbors. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not one of these guys that are quarterback proof and that can just get it done with whoever. Like, I think Jeudy, and we saw this last year, like when Jameis got in there, it was like, okay, now this is Jerry Jeudy. Like, this is him in his truest form. But he's not quarterback proof. He's not like some of those top echelon receivers in the league. Like, Joe Burrow is going to be missing for 3 months. Jamar Chase is still going to find a way to get his because he's a true bona fide number 1 wide receiver. I just don't think Jerry Judy's that. That's fine. He's still a very good player, Pro Bowl talent on his best day. He's just not in that Jamar Chase Neighbors echelon, and probably not even really close.
I just feel like he's got something in there. He reminds me a little bit of like how Ty Jerome was for the Cavs. Like, when he has his moment, it's like he's lighting it up, and I'd love to see more of that. Obviously, to your point, maybe he isn't like the other superstars, but I'm still pulling for the guy. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that went well here, or maybe Let's talk about. There's not a ton, guys. There's not a ton.
We could go to the Diamond. Guardians, you were there all
We're done
weekend?
with Browns? I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe hard segue, because you're right. I'm looking at some of what we've got teed up here, and it's like, what are we going to beat a dead horse on this for?
I tell you what, I'm pretty excited right now. The Guardians, now who knows at the time of taping, but the Guardians have set themselves up to make a little bit of a
People
run.
counting us out, people
Absolutely.
saying what they want on X and this, that, and whatever. They do not care. Respectfully, this team has still held on. They have been so gritty. Even Stephen Kwan, people who've had slumps, maybe people were giving him a hard time. He's slumped since the All-Star break and whatnot. He's come back alive. He's incredible on defense. Nolan Jones laying out to be clutch. Rokio finishing the game in clutch fashion. Bybee coming out his first career complete game shutout. I mean, these guys are rising to the occasion. Big shout out to Hedges on calling that game. I know Hedges gets a lot of flack. You know, this guy's not producing offensively. This guy calls a game like the best to do it in the league, so I don't want to hear it. We've won 9 of our last 10, guys. Yeah. We sweep the White Sox. Don't act like we're not in this. We're clawing away for that final wild card spot, and truthfully, Detroit, watch out, okay?
They control their own destiny, Gab. Like, we just got done belly aching about the Browns. Like, how many Browns seasons have we sat here where it was like, okay, we've kind of done enough. We're in the hunt, whatever. We need this team to lose, this team to tie, this team to, win this way. That's not the case for these guards. Like, they control their own fate, to their credit. They've battled this entire season through gambling allegations, through injuries, through offensive ineptitude, which still is a big issue. I mean, the team's offense is unwatchable on a nightly basis. However, with all of that working against them, they've put themselves in a position where they control their own fate. That's all you can ask for. If you handle your business the rest of the way, you've made the MLB postseason. If you don't, then you don't make the MLB playoffs. Like, they control their own fate, and that's really all you can ask for midway through September.
As we begin the week, 6.5 games back in the division with 6 games with Detroit starting this week. That's going to be obviously a huge series. This is going to be playoff baseball right now.
Yep.
It starts for the Guardians this week. It'll be fun to see if they respond.
Buckle up. These Guardians, they're not done yet. Big thanks again to our friends at Fairway Ford. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Lake Spur Marketing, connecting your brand to the right customers. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. Our featured guest is brought to you by Garage Beer. Garage Beer is the perfect beer for any occasion. It's small batch, no frills, no bitterness. It's just beer that tastes like beer. And the garage is always open with Garage Beer. Now we welcome in studio, friend of show and personal friend of mine, Bill Squire. He is a local comedian here in Cleveland. He's been an expert at his craft for many years, and he's the host of Cleveland America Show. Bill Squire, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Always good to see you guys.
Hey. Cliche question off the top, because we're coming off this Browns weekend and stuff. As a comedian in Cleveland, is this kind of the ongoing material that just keeps on giving?
No, I hate it. I don't want to write jokes about the Browns being bad anymore. I've been doing this for too long. 21 years. I want those worlds to exist separately. Like, I'm friends with people from Baltimore. I'm friends with people from Buffalo. I'm friends with people from Kansas City. And the way that they can just enjoy their teams for the most part, especially my friends from Kansas City, where like after I was like, oh, how was that, Super Bowl loss? They're like, well, it wasn't so bad because we've got 2 in the past 3 years and 4, like they're so like disconnected from having to make jokes about their franchise because they've had low years in the past, but like we've had an abundance, and I don't need to make the jokes anymore. I don't want to make the jokes anymore. I want the team to be good.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, call up that friend in Kansas City. They're 0-2. We're 0-2. We're on equal footing right now.
I will, because also last year the Ravens started 0-2. So, we got to stay positive about it somehow. Because I do think our defense is pretty decent. Yeah. If, Denzel Ward could stay on the field, that would help a lot. But, I mean, Miles looks incredible and motivated. And then it's just, the offense is just blah.
What do you make of the quarterback thing, Bill? Obviously, I think all of us were excited about Flacco coming back, and 2 games in, we've already had some wavering opinions on Joe Flacco.
He looks 40 years old. That's what I'm going to say. He looks 40 years old, but also he has been hurt by a lot of drops, which has been the case with a lot of our quarterbacks over the years, where in crucial moments there's big drops, and then there's, those unfortunate interceptions from the first week where they weren't his fault. The guys just bobbled the ball into the other team's hand. But also, I think Stefanski's offense just looks so bland. Like there isn't really schemes to get guys open, or maybe they're just running poor routes. I don't know, but it looks like they have time in the pocket. Like he had time yesterday. He just couldn't find anybody open.
Is it one of those things as a comedian where it's like they almost make it like I feel like too easy for you? Like there's almost too much like low-hanging fruit to make fun of because they just find new ways to snatch a defeat out of the jaws of victory every single week.
Right, and it's also like I want these worlds to be separate for me. Like I want to be a fan and have this be like my hobby and be enjoyable and not have it be like
an escape.
Yeah, an escape. Not
in a positive way.
Right. I want it to be different worlds. I don't want to, like, my comedy very rarely depends on the Browns because I travel all over the place. So, like, when I go and talk about Shador or Dylan Gabriel in another city, they're like, I don't know. They don't care at all. They don't care. They're like, as much as like.
Unless you're in Colorado, then they're like, just talk Shador. That's all we want to hear about.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you've ever seen comments on any video about the Browns now, it's those fans are nuts. Like they really think that he's gonna be great, and like I would love them to be right.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Okay, so we're probably not expecting any Browns material this weekend. Friday, you're shooting a big special, Brothers Lounge.
Yes.
7 p.m. Tell us about the special.
7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. 7 p.m.'s almost sold out. So this is the material I've been working on for the past 2 years. I filmed my last special in December of 2023, and so I've just been working on this material. Then I got laid off from the radio job, fired if you want to be a jerk, which a lot of people do, which is fine. I don't care.
That's crazy. No, obviously they made moves to cut down, and that was
right. Yeah. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It
don't
doesn't
even say that.
It doesn't give me my job back.
Yes. Right.
So I've been working on this material, and I really love it. A lot of it's about my relationship with my dad and my mom, and then in like that juxtaposition of them getting older and more like sick of each other kind of thing, and so they're both trying to hang out with me more because they're trying to get away from each other. And then my girlfriend and just like that burgeoning relationship, like when you're dating somebody in your 40s and they're also like in their like close to being 40, and just like the different obstacles you have to go through in a new relationship versus like being with someone for an extended period of time, like still learning about people and like understanding like why we were both single in our 40s kind of thing.
Bill, how cool is it to be like working on material for such a like December 2023, long time ago? How cool is it that you're finally like this week is the week where you're going to be able to deliver a lot of that material in like a real live tape setting right here in your backyard in Cleveland?
Oh, it's great. And it's so fun to do it. And Brothers Lounge, I run a weekly show there. So like I love the staff there. It's a great like kind of underappreciated venue in Cleveland because they have live music almost every night, and then once a week they give me comedy to do there, and like they're just really cool, and it's a beautiful venue, and like they just updated their sound system and their lights look good, so like I'm thrilled for that aspect of it. And I've just always been really well supported by Cleveland, and so there was options to try and go and shoot in other cities, but I know other people that have done that and they don't have that fan base. And I want people there that know me and kind of like, I don't have to like re-educate them on who I am. They kind of go in knowing who I am, versus when you're performing in front of an audience that doesn't exactly know what you're going to do, they can kind of tighten up because, I say some stuff that you're like, oh, I don't know if you should have said that.
For sure. If you haven't seen Bill, I'm biased because I've been able to follow your career for a long time and also just being pals. Like Cleveland's a small world, but his stuff is amazing. A lot of his stuff is blown up on like TikTok, Instagram. Be sure to check him out, your social media stuff.
Yeah,
plug
YouTube.
Some of that too.
I'm like 5,000 YouTube subscribers away from 100,000, and I want that plaque. So we're
let's
get
go.
him there.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be real cool.
Yeah, we like all those short bits. It's cool in the age of comedy now how social media can be a vessel to kind of get people out there a little bit more than before, and you've been able to take advantage. So.
Yeah, it's really cool that you can kind of be your own gatekeeper, where if you just kind of do the work, you can get your stuff out there and build a career. And like I'm not doing arenas or anything, but I can still pay my mortgage. I can still I can my car's paid off. Like I'm not paid off, but the note's paid. It's a lease. So like I'm doing all right. And I'm very grateful for that, and I couldn't do that without the support of Clevelanders, because they're the ones that come to all my weekly shows. They watch me work out this material and bomb and like trying to figure out how to make these jokes work. And, you know, but what you're going to get at the taping is all works and it's all really funny.
Yeah.
And you get tickets at BillSquire.com.
In the era of social media and everything else, is it now tougher to do comedy, or is it easier than what it was when you first started?
So it's interesting because it's tougher because there's so much more. But at the same time, that leads to a lot more opportunities. Before, there was like one club in every city, and they were kind of struggling, and only like the biggest names. I mean, the fact that there's so many levels where there's like bar shows and then like the don't tell shows where they kind of do them in like random places. And then you have like comedy club shows and then theater shows and then arena shows. And they're all happening at pretty high levels, like filling up is great because it gives me so many opportunities. Like this past weekend, I opened for a comedian at Playhouse Square. So like I get to do shows there. I get to do shows at Hilarities. I get to do shows for Don't Tell or Secret Society in Cleveland. So there's all these different opportunities. So that makes it easier because there's so many more opportunities. But when I first started, there just weren't that many comedians. So like I got on the road within a year of doing stand-up and was making a living doing it. Now it was a meager living and I was in North Dakota all the time, but I was making money.
Fargo loves you.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that's so cool to hear. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand, like even people that have like lived here their whole life, that Cleveland has like a thriving comedy scene. Like we've had a lot of comics come up through Cleveland. Obviously people in Cleveland love comedy, and it is just a great town for laughter. Yeah,
I mean, we got so many great comics. You got guys like Dave Hill, who he tours and opens for Tenacious D. He's touring and opening for Bill Murray right now. He's from Cleveland, and he's out there doing it. He lives in New York City now. He wrote the theme song for Last Week Tonight. That little guitar riff at the beginning, that's him. Yeah. So he's great. And then there's Mary Santora, who's in New York City killing it. You got Mike Polk Jr., who's still here doing it here. Just went to his wedding over the weekend. That was a lot of fun.
He got married. Polk got married.
Polk got married.
The first pitch at the Guardians.
Wow,
Yeah,
I completely
awesome.
missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was waiting to see you guys there. I thought like all the celebrities would
All
be
the
there.
luminaries.
Yeah,
Apparently,
but
invite got lost.
Tim
in the mail
Misney was
here.
there.
No way.
Yeah, Tim
That's
Misney was there.
awesome.
Tim Misney was there too.
And
Come
then one of my
Polk.
friends goes, "Is that Daffy Dan? Like the T-shirt guy? Do you guys remember Daffy Dan?"
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was just one of our friends that's only like 33 years old that our other friend that didn't know him thought was a 68-year-old man.
Wow.
Or maybe 80. I don't know how old Daffy Dan is, but he's not young.
What a weekend.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, they threw out the first pitch. Mike caught the ball, and then Slider came out and they did a whole thing. I thought that was cool. I've never even seen them do that, like for newlyweds. So they must have the inside. I know that.
Well, I mean, between KYC, like
Yeah,
their
there we
connection
go,
there,
KYC.
and they play some games over there, right? So
Yeah.
that probably helped out a little bit. And Mike is just a legend in the city. Like,
Right.
I mean,
Dan Polk, his uncle,
Yeah.
always sings the anthem.
yeah,
at the
Dan's
Hall.
great.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're so woven in.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, we're excited to support you. Cleveland, come out and support this guy. It's Friday, Brothers Lounge. The other cool thing about Bill is how supportive you are of so many other comics. Some people, I know it can be one of those tough things where you're like not sure who to support. Bill is just like, you're the most lovable, supportive guy, and it shows through. It's time to support Bill. So this weekend, 7 and 9:30
Correct.
p.m. Check him out.
BillSquire.com, right?
BillSquire.com for tickets.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. Football season is here, and Pure AV has everything you need to get your man or woman cave ready with their high-performance audio and video displays. If you're worried about keeping a clean interior, they offer hidden audio and video options that allow you to keep that elegant look without sacrificing your favorite technology. Pure AV can set you up with invisible architectural speakers that are hidden in your walls and ceilings, as well as disappearing TVs that vanish behind art or mirrors. The guys over at Pure AV constantly repairing or finishing other AV companies' botched jobs. So why not call them in the first place to eliminate all that hassle and headache? Visit pureavcorp.com to see everything that they offer for your home. Okay, guys, fill in the blank here. Gavin Williams versus Tarek Skubal on Thursday will be.
Must-watch TV. I'll tell you what, you get to this time of the year, a lot of baseball games that are out there, a lot of baseball games that don't mean a lot. This is one that means a ton. Obviously, you're playing Detroit, and then this matchup in particular. Gavin Williams, I tell you what, I've been on him all season long. I love Big Rig. He has played very well. He's in his last 10 starts, he's only allowed over 2 earned runs, like twice, something like that. I mean, he's just been on a phenomenal run. We know what Scooble is. We also know the Guardians have had Scooble's number in the past, most notably last year in the playoffs. So this will be a fun one come Thursday.
Yeah, could I say Gavin Williams versus Turk Scooble will be low scoring? I don't expect much out of Cleveland's offense in this game, but that's all right. I hope if Gavin could give them enough, you really only need a couple of runs. That's how the Guardians have been able to win all of these games to stay alive. They're all really low scoring affairs. The under has been the popular bet during Cleveland Guardians season on FanDuel. So yeah, it will be low scoring. I could almost guarantee that.
Call your shot. The 3 AL wildcard teams will be
New York, Boston, and for the third one, because with the Browns, I went for the Browns, and I said they beat the spread. I'm going to go against on this one, do the reverse jinx. I'm going to say Houston gets in with the hopes then that means the Guardians are going to be in the playoffs.
All right, I'll go with I'm gonna put the Guardians, and the Guardians will be the lovable story of this group because I got the hated New York Yankees in there against the cheating Houston Astros and the Cleveland Guardians grabbing onto that last final wild card spot. That would be a fun wild card, I think, really just for the sport of baseball to have New York, Houston, Cleveland, all 3 wild card teams.
All right, we've talked about our 40-year-old quarterback and kind of the aging, injury-prone O-line. Whose fault is this for the Browns' disastrous start to the season?
The overall plan, I think the plan for this year was for us to tank. We talked about it. Yeah. There was some optimism around Cleveland. I don't understand why. We are still in the nuclear fallout zone from Deshaun Watson, and this team is trying to recover from that. That's why you see the youth movement right now. You've got guys like Joe Flacco, the old guy who's just there as a Band-Aid until the young guys can come along and play a little bit. We're just testing out what we've got on this roster to see what we can do going forward, because right now this is not a team poised to win anytime soon, and certainly not this season. I just hope we at least get one victory, too.
Yeah, I don't like. As far as casting the blame, I think everybody gets a share of the blame pie. Like, I think Deshaun Watson gets a share of it. I think Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, the players, for not executing because they've had opportunities to lead in both of these games. So I really do think it's a collective failure, which is unfortunate because I know that's the last thing that Browns fans want to hear. Like, that's all we've had really for the last 3 decades is collective failures, where it's the ownership, it's coaching, it's GM. Like, that's always the story. And Browns fans should eventually get to a point where they just expect wins. How about that? Like, wouldn't it be nice to just field a team that can win a couple games like on a consistent basis? We thought we were finally getting to that point, and now it feels like we're heading in the complete wrong direction.
Happy birthday, Deshaun. Like, how seriously can you guys take some of these video clips from Quincy Avery on X?
I mean, look, they're doing what they feel like is going to give them their best chance to make the best of their own situation. Like, they're looking at this just like we are. There's a 40-year-old statue at quarterback that took us on a magic carpet ride, but that magic is completely dried up. There's 2 mid-round rookies who, let's call it for what it is. They were both really bad at times throughout the preseason. They don't look like they're ready to go. So Quincy and Deshaun probably see a path of like, well, if we could get on the field anywhere, it's probably going to be here. Yeah. And if it's not here, maybe we could convince a team to throw a conditional 6th or 7th round pick Cleveland's way. Like, look around the league. Bengals need a quarterback. Look around the league. Like, Vegas traded a 5th rounder for Kenny Pickett just to back up Geno Smith. So QB transactions are real, and I think Quincy and Deshaun are trying to just put their best foot forward with these social media videos to try to have the world see that he's getting close to being medically cleared. Like, I think that's, the baseline of, and then once they hit that point, Browns are going to have a decision to make, because when you're medically cleared, your option is to either activate him to the 53-man roster or release him. And you're not going to release him because of the cap implications of that. So they're probably going to activate him and make him inactive on game days, or activate him and potentially play. I don't know what they do. But yeah, you can't take it very seriously just because we know that there's nothing left in there. Like ownership called it a swing and a miss. I don't think there's a feasible way where you could put that guy back on the field.
My biggest concern with the Browns moving forward is
the draft, because we're going through this youth movement right now. You know, this last draft for Andrew Berry and co. looked pretty good right now on paper. It really does. You got 5 guys that are pretty good there, I think, with early returns, and you got a couple of quarterbacks that you're kicking the tires on. I like that plan. The prior drafts, Nick, not very good. And we know going forward, the draft is going to be so key, especially next year. We're going to have a high draft pick, and we're also going to have Jacksonville's pick, as well as a ton after that. And to rebuild this team with this organization makes me a little bit nervous right now, Nick.
So that's my biggest concern, right? And like, we're not going to do the fire Kevin Stefanski, fire Andrew Berry thing, because we all knew what this season was going to be, but at some point, someone has to be responsible for the failure. And I know they value process over results. The NFL is a results-oriented league. If the results don't come true, then your process is broken and you're going to be replaced. So my biggest concern with the Browns moving forward is that their head coach has lost 17 of the last 20 games that his team has gone out on the field with. And I think my biggest concern is...
Talking about a 2-time coach of the year there, Nick.
He's got to get this car back on the road, or else him and Andrew aren't going to be the guys. Like, we've seen this movie play out before. Like, we're not imploring for this to happen, but if things don't start looking towards normal soon, it'll be a different head coach and a different general manager making these 2 first-round selections in April. We've just seen this movie play out too many times to ignore it.
Another big shout out to our friends at Pure AV. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland. Don't go anywhere. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Pure AV, luxury home automation. Experience your dream smart home by visiting pureavcorp.com.
Welcome on back into the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's Nick Padone with my friends at Northeast Factory Direct. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, updating your furniture, freshening up that patio, or looking for a new mattress, Northeast Factory Direct is the place for you. There's no fancy showrooms, no high-pressure salesmen, just high-quality items at unbelievable prices. It gets even better for our listeners. When you get all your stuff, when you're shopping in Northeast Factory Direct, you're getting ready to check out, ask for that extra special Big Play bonus. We've had so many people hit us up and tell us we got the Big Play bonus. It works. They're getting money off their items at Northeast Factory Direct. So visit them today. Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, North Canton. Check them out online, northeastfactorydirect.com. It's time for Bringing the Heat. We're talking Guardians with Joe Noga. Joe, the ball club has been winning some baseball games over the last 10 games. What's been going right for our Cleveland Guardians as they've found a way to stay alive yet again?
Well, they just wrapped up a stretch of 17 games in 17 days. And Stephen Vogt, Carl Willis got together before that all started and said they needed to go to a 6-man pitching rotation, starting rotation, to sort of preserve some of their young arms, but also to give them a chance to win. And that's exactly what they did. They went 12-5 in that 17-game stretch. And a lot of it had to do with the outstanding starting pitching that they got. We talked to Slade Ciccone after the game on Sunday when he went out, and he had a nice outing then, but his first outing on the homestand on Monday, he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning and gave up a hit on the first batter he faced. He tells us, what's it say when I go out there and I take a no-hitter into the 8th inning, and I've got the 3rd best start of the week out of his rotation because Joey Cantillo came in and went deep into a game, went into the 9th inning there. Tanner Bybee goes out and throws the first complete game shutout for the Guardians, for Cleveland, since 2019. The outstanding starting pitching has really been the story of the second half of the season for the Guardians.
Let's stay right there. How great was it to see Tanner Bybee finally get a real dominant start, put it all together?
Man, I felt really good for Tanner Bybee because this is a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve at all times. And Tanner Bybee knew going into that start that he had to do exactly what he did. There's one thing to know that you've got to do it and to go out and accomplish it. Yeah, the White Sox have lost 92 games this year. They're not the 27 Yankees, but they came in and they had won 9 of their last 11, and they were hitting 292 in their last 10 road games. So this was a team that could have hurt him. And maybe earlier in the season, Tanner Bybee does maybe fall apart at some point during that start, but it didn't happen. He gave up 2 hits. He struck out 10 batters for the 4th time in his career. He was every bit the ace that he needed to be in that moment. And Stephen Vogt was really happy to see that out of him, especially at that point in the season.
Joe, one of the cool observations for me when it comes down to pressure baseball, we're looking for this playoff push and into the playoffs, is some of the guys who just come out of the woodwork and step up for the team, especially since lately Jose, for example, been a little bit quiet. We've seen Bo, he had all our RBIs yesterday, and Rocchio laying out with some clutch defensive plays, Nolan Jones too. Who do you anticipate really stepping up or being kind of a wild card, pun intended, for us down the stretch?
Well, we've already seen Parker Messick pretty much come out of the woodwork, and in 4 or 5 starts here, he's been excellent. He's been untouchable at points, really aggressive in the strike zone, and he just takes a really good approach into every start. We talked to Carl Willis before the game on Sunday, and Carl Willis wouldn't stop raving about Parker Messick's bullpen sessions between his starts and how very methodical and just he has to have everything right and doing things that he carries into the games when he makes his starts. He's just been really impressed with the advanced maturity of Parker Messick and what they've got there. It makes you scratch your head as to why they waited so long to call him up and stick him in the rotation. They sort of had the opportunity with this 6-man rotation that they've been on, but Parker Messick, a guy that's really stepped up, and on the offensive side, we saw CJ Kafis, come alive during this last homestand and really deliver some big hits as well.
Joe, kind of feels like the Guardians are catching Detroit maybe at a perfect time. The Tigers have struggled a little bit recently, and the Guardians have 6 games against them as we're recording this right now, 6.5 games behind Detroit. Seems like there's a prime opportunity right in front of us.
Yeah, it's no small task to have to sweep 6 games against the division leaders there, but that's pretty much what's in front of you. Don't forget they've got Tarek Skubal, who I think in 16 innings against the Guardians this year hasn't given up an earned run. They're going to throw Casey Mize, who's given up 2 earned runs in 12 innings against them this year. This is a Guardians offense that has a tendency to run away and go to sleep during certain stretches in games. They can have none of that over these next 3 and then 3 games next week in Cleveland. They need to hit the ball. They need to score runs. That's going to be the big difference. Is how Cleveland's offense responds and what kind of game plan they take into these 6 games.
Alrighty, it's time for the Northeast Factory direct question of the week for our guy, Joe Noga. Joe, the Guards are still chasing the Rangers, the Astros, and the Red Sox for those final 2 wildcard spots. Which of those teams do you see to be more likely to collapse down the stretch here?
I would probably have to go with the Astros, maybe the Red Sox right now. The Red Sox have been playing a little inconsistent over the last week or so, but the Astros probably the more vulnerable of the teams that are in front of them. I don't think anybody's catching Seattle. I think Seattle's going to take off and run with it. I would actually put Seattle in the World Series at this point, based on the length of their lineup. But the Guardians get 3 games at home against the Rangers to end the season. Those games could be really important, and somebody just has to take care of the Astros before then. The Astros and Rangers are going to be locked up in a series here coming up this early part of this week while the Guardians are playing the Tigers. So it could all work itself out, and we go into those final 3 games of the season with a lot on the line.
Joe Noga, thanks so much for joining us from Cleveland.com. We know it was a last-minute ask, so thanks for coming on with us, and we'll see you soon.
Clutch.
Always a pleasure, guys.
We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com today. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. This Smart Choice segment is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Right now at Smart Choice Windows, you can get 50% off all windows during this limited time promotion. Plus, take advantage of their special financing with no money down and no interest until 2027. Looking to upgrade your whole exterior? Smart Choice Windows is offering $1,500 off siding for your entire home and $500 off entry door installation to boost your curb appeal. And remember that every project starts with a free, no pressure estimate, so give them a call at 844-GET-SMART or visit smartchoicewindows.com and make sure to ask about the Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% off all promotions. All right, we're giving you the scenario. You tell me what the smart choice will be. When the Browns eventually make a quarterback change, the smart choice would be...
Ooh, boy, you look at the schedule, it just does not set up for a quarterback change. You know, This week you've got Green Bay, then you've got Detroit, then you go to England, you're going to be playing Minnesota over there, then you come back home, and you come back and you go to Pittsburgh then, so you got another road game. To me, really, if you're going to do this right, you're going to wait until that Miami game. You're going to wait until there's at least a shot. We've seen guys like DTR that we've thrown to the wolves with the Ravens. I'd hate to do that to one of these young guys, but boy, if you're waiting for the schedule to dictate it, to me, it's not until Miami. I'd love to make a change earlier, but that's the way it sets up.
Well, what's difficult about all of these games and why the schedule looks so hard is because all of these teams have quarterbacks in place. Like, you got Jordan Love and the Packers this week, Micah Parsons on that defense. You don't want Dylan Gabriel stacked up against that. That's just a tall task for any rookie, let alone a third-round rookie. Detroit, we know how good that defense is with Aiden Hutchinson healthy. Then Minnesota and England, that was the team that put a magnifying glass on the Browns last year, all the way back in training camp during those joint practices where we had people saying, hold on, something doesn't look right. The Browns can't even move the ball in practice against the Minnesota Vikings. And then you go to Pittsburgh, a place where you haven't won a regular season game in 2 decades. So it's not favorable for a quarterback change. I'm currently operating under the belief that we're seeing at least 4 more games of Joe Flacco. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think in a season where this is all laboratory test tube, we're going to figure some stuff out, it probably is smart to see a rookie. I just don't know that they're going to do it until maybe October 19th at home against the Miami Dolphins. And even then, who's to say that Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle can't course correct? And maybe we're singing a different tune then and saying, oh no, this is going to be a difficult game. We need our vet Joe Flacco there. Like, there's no right answer on when this can happen. And that's the thing with drafting 2 of them, is we talked all offseason long. At some point, you're going to have to put these kids on the field. And the question now will be, and will continue to be, when.
All right, we've talked about how good the Guardians' pitching has been lately. In terms of sticking with that 6-man rotation or shortening the rotation the final series or 2, the smart choice is...
I like the momentum we've got right now, so I like sticking with that 6-man rotation. As much as I like Galvin Williams and I like Big Rig, I really think you got to go with what's working right now, and that's that 6-man rotation. It seems to be what's really working for the team and really the engine that's driving us.
Well, Chris, and even if we could get to our North Star here, and that's the playoffs, like, if you continue going with this 6-man rotation, maybe it could give the Guardians a good, honest view at which one of these guys are hot to play in a wild card series. So I'm with you. I'd keep it going with the 6. It's what's working right now. You've got young guys like Parker Messick contributing, Slade Ciccone bounced back in a big way. Yeah. So, like, when you're getting contributions from 1 through 6, and all of these guys have looked really good in their spots, in their opportunities, I think you got to just keep going with it until they give you a reason not to.
Before we switch gears here and talk about the Buckeyes, I do want to give Dollar Dog Nick a shout out. He pointed out record through the first 310 games in Cleveland, comparing Francona and Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt, 548. Tito, the legendary Tito, 545. So for as much discourse there's been on Stephen Vogt over the course of this season, in just his second year, I'd say he's doing a darn good job. The Buckeyes improved to 3-0 this week and moved up to number 1 in the AP poll. When it comes to the running back position, the smart choice would be.
Not only do I love the name, but I love the way he runs. Got to go with Bo Jackson here, the young freshman. He just runs like he's upset every time he gets the ball. It's fun to watch him. It's fun to see those big breaks. And I know he's playing teams from the MAC. You're playing OU right now. But I'll be interested to see what this guy can do once we get into Big Ten play.
Well, it reminds you of, at least it reminds me a little bit of when former Ohio State running back Carlos Hyde was in front of Nick Chubb with our Browns. And that's what it feels like when C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples carry the ball. It's like, I just want to get to those Bo Jackson carries because I know he's going to do something. He's going to have a little pep in his step. So I think they got to find ways to responsibly give him more of a workload in this backfield for Ohio State. But Buckeyes look balanced, man. Like, if they could get him running the football regularly and doing it as effective as he has in a small sample size, you pair that with what Julian Sands able to do with Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. I mean, Chris, our prediction of running the table is right there for the taking.
Well, and then you put that together with this defense, that Matt Patricia defense that's just been lights out
good
so far. And once again, you got to look at who they're playing. But, man, I'm excited to see once we get into Big Ten play, whether that NFL caliber, that NFL style defense that Matt Patricia has been bringing and all those different schemes, whether that's going to dominate the way I think it will in the Big Ten.
This segment also brought to you by Smart Choice Baths. It is the perfect time to remodel your bathroom. Right now, Smart Choice Baths is giving you $1,250 off your bathroom projects, plus a free luxury upgrade to add comfort and style. And just for Big Play listeners, viewers, you'll save an additional 10% on your project. So don't wait. Visit smartchoicebaths.com or give them a call at 844-GET-SMART to schedule your free consultation today. And now we need to announce the winner for Smart Choice Bath's $2,000 gift certificate giveaway.
It is Carter Baker who wins that gift certificate as well as the autograph. So congratulations.
$2,000 gift certificate. That's pretty awesome. And a Top Dogs canvas signed by Josh Cribbs, Hanford Dixon, and Phil Taylor. Congratulations. It was Carter?
Carter.
Let's go.
Carter Baker. Congrats.
All right, we're taking a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows, energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Our big play bets on the Big Play Cleveland Show are presented by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season, it's here. The only question now is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/BigPlay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Restrictions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right. The Browns opened as 8.5-point underdogs versus Green Bay this week. Do you think that this line seems too low considering how these two teams have come out playing?
I do, based upon what we just saw on Sunday. I am betting that Green Bay is going to roll, unfortunately, and I think they're going to cover pretty easily. I learned my lesson from last week. I think this defense is going to be tough for a couple of quarters, and then they're going to implode, and our offense is just not going to be able to get it done again.
Well, I think that's what Vegas is probably banking on, and that's why the number's 8.5, because Vegas is like, man, if that defense can continue to do what they do, and if Flacco could just be okay and not turn the football over, Baker could be in all of these games. So I think we're going to continue to see the tight spreads. I just don't have any faith. Like Micah Parsons in that defense, like Baltimore's defense had some questions. Remember what Buffalo did to them in primetime. Cincinnati's defense has a ton of questions. They're thought to be one of the worst in the league. What are you going to do when Micah Parsons is coming off that edge against DeJuan Jones, who had to sit out a couple of snaps because it was too hot outside in Baltimore? Like, it's going to be a tough day for the Browns, and I'm going to pick the Packers.
The one caveat is we are at home. There is always that chance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we could hear boo birds by the end of this game. I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, man. Chris, is this our week for our anytime touchdown, David Njoku, yet to find the end zone. Week 3 at home in front of the dog pound. The week.
To recap, week 1, I had Harold Fandon. He's played very well, still hasn't found that end zone. David Njoku, we had him week 2, still nothing there. Week 3 now. I'm going to stay with the receivers. I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Judy's going to get himself a touchdown.
That's
Gab,
what I
you've
thought.
inspired me.
That's what I thought.
It's a show bet. Jerry Jeudy it is.
JJ all the way. Guys, that'll do it for our Big Play Cleveland show. Thanks so much for watching. Presented by FanDuel. We'll see you next week.
Welcome on back into the Big Play Cleveland Show. It is time for our weekly conversation with Ty Dillon. Ty drives the number 10 Colleague Racing Chevy for Northeast Ohio Zone. Matt Colleague, who fields 2 teams in the NASCAR Cup Series. Ty, thanks so much for joining us on the Big Play Cleveland Show again this week. How'd Bristol go for you, bro?
Man, Bristol was an interesting one for sure. We didn't have the qualifying effort that we wanted, but our car was really fast. Our Grizzly 16 pouch Chevrolet was really good. I got my little man in the car, so you guys might hear him today. But
all good.
So in the first stage, we came down pit road. Our tires were lasting longer than other cars, and we were able to go a little bit further. We came down pit road, and the caution came out kind of at an unfortunate time, put us 2 laps down. And the way that the race went, with so many people blowing tires, it was tough to get our lap back. But our race car was actually really fast. The race just didn't really play in our favor. So there were some positives to bring from it, but definitely in a little bit of a slump. Things not really going our way, kind of like my football team and the Cleveland football team. Everything's going a little sour right now, but a lot of racing left ahead and a lot of football left ahead for things to turn around.
Well, that's the nice part, is we can always look forward. New Hampshire Motor Speedway. One of your starts with Colleague Racing last season was at New Hampshire, finished the race 20th. How excited are you to get back there with Colleague this year?
I'm very excited. I love going back to these places that I'll have a second year working with the team at. And last year was a unique one too. We raced in the rain for quite a bit of the race, which is not something we typically do on flat ovals. So it always throws a little bit of a difference into the race, but I look forward to growing with our team. New Hampshire's a place that I have a lot of confidence in. I like that style of racetrack. It's a style track that we've been really fast at this year. So I think we're going to have a really good weekend and hopefully gain some momentum for these last few races coming in.
Alrighty, and then we're not going to be able to chat next week. So the week after, you're back in Kansas. It'll be your second time in Kansas this year. Earlier this year, you started the race from the rear, but you were able to make some progress and some moves up to the front. How excited are you? I know it's so tough to look like 2 races ahead, but how excited are you to hit Kansas after New Hampshire?
Very excited. I think it's like I was talking about with New Hampshire, to work together for a second time at a certain racetrack is always helpful. The confidence grows, the notebook grows for how we get better. I know we learned a lot in that race earlier this year, so hopefully some of those things will apply. I think our cars are getting faster and faster at the 1.5 mile. So the next 2 races are ones that I really look forward to. I think they're going to be good days for our team, and looking forward to talking to you guys after Kansas and hopefully talking about some great finishes.
And hopefully we could talk about some good football too, man, because what's going on with our Browns, what's going on with your Panthers, it feels like our pets' heads are falling off here.
Yeah, it's brutal right now. Hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be 500 on both teams. We're going to need 2 wins. So
yeah, it's going to be, our producer Ryan just almost fell out of his seat laughing because we've got the Packers and the Lions. So it's going to be some uphill sledding over here. Hopefully things improve for you guys and the Colleague Racing team, for the Panthers as well. We love showing you guys some love that way too.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We need it.
For sure. Go show him some love on social media at Ty Dillon. You could follow along with him, AJ Allmendinger, as well, every single weekend by following Colleague Racing on socials too. Thank you so much, Ty, for popping on. We'll do it again in 2 weeks when you get back from Kansas.